Hey everyone, welcome to Prime Movement's Self-Love Mobility Series. Thank you for joining me for the month of February as we make daily deposits to our joints. We are speaking the joints' love language, which is movement. Okay, so we're going to be starting off top to bottom, doing the 10-minute cars routine. As I always say to my students, if you take nothing else from me during any of my classes, any of the videos you watch from me, take this entire sequence. Okay, so 10 minutes top to bottom. That's all you're going to need. It's going to go through all the joints beginning to end, and you want to be able to follow through at full range of motion. So without further ado, let's get into it. Okay, so finding ourselves in high kneeling position, we're starting with our neck cars, tucking the chin down towards our chest, scraping it along until we find ourselves looking over our left shoulder. Dip the left ear to left shoulder. Look all the way back towards the ceiling, rotate until you're facing over your right shoulder. Scrape your chin down along your chest until you're back to center. Reverse that motion, scrape it along towards your right shoulder. Dip your right ear to right shoulder. Extend, looking all the way back on the ceiling until you rotate and looking over that left shoulder. Scrape that chin down along your chest until you're back to center. And we're going to do that again, tucking that chin down towards your chest as far down as you can. Scraping that chin along that chest, looking over that left shoulder. Dip the left ear to left shoulder. Extend your head back, looking up towards the ceiling and rotating your head until you're looking over your right shoulder. Bring your chin down, scrape it along your chest until you're back to center. Reverse that motion, scraping it along towards your right side. Dip the right ear to right shoulder. Extend your head all the way back, look over to the ceiling, rotate your head until you're looking over that left shoulder. Scrape it along your chest until you're back to center. Nice. Hugging yourself. Now we're going to work on our thoracic cars. So you want to give yourself a bit of a hunchback here. You want to think about moving your upper back instead of your lower back. So you're shrugging in, tucking those elbows down towards your belly button, rotating them towards that right hip, dipping that right shoulder towards the right hip, and then extending all the way back and rotating over to your left shoulder. Tucking those elbows down in towards your belly button and bringing yourself back down to center. Okay, take a breath here. Squeeze the air out. Bring those elbows in towards your belly button. Rotate until you're facing your left hip. Dip the left shoulder down towards the left hip. Extend, almost like you want to point those elbows up to the ceiling as you lean and rotate and find yourself leaning over the right hip. Rotate towards the right hip and then hug yourself back to center. Dipping those elbows down towards your belly button, scraping it along, rotating until you're facing that right hip. Dip that right shoulder to right hip, extend, pointing those elbows up towards the ceiling and rotate until you find yourself leaning over towards that left hip. Rotate towards the left hip, bringing those elbows in towards your belly button and back to center. Repeating that one more time, tucking those elbows down towards your belly button, rotating towards that left hip. Then you're going to dip that left shoulder towards the left hip. Lean back as you bring those elbows up towards the ceiling until you find yourself leaning over towards that right hip. Rotate towards the right hip and then tuck your elbows down towards your belly button as you find your way to center. And breathe. That's a good one. You should feel a bit more open here. Now we're doing scap cars. So here you want to think about doing it as separate motions as opposed to doing it in a circle if you're just beginning, so that the movement is fluid and there's less coupling. So here we're going to retract, squeezing a pencil between our shoulder blades, elevate towards our ears, punch down towards the ground, retract, squeeze the pencil, up towards our ears, forward, down. You're going to retract, elevate towards your ears, retract, squeezing the pencil, let go of the pencil. Nice fluid circle with those scap cars. Okay, so elevate up, rotate forward, punch down, squeeze the pencil between your shoulder blades, elevate up, roll forward, punch down. Shrug up towards your ears, squeeze the pencil back between your shoulder blades, punch down towards the ground, and roll forward. Squeeze up towards your ears, squeeze that pencil between your shoulder blades, punch down, roll forward. Reverse that motion, squeeze that pencil between your blades, roll forward, shrug up, and then roll forward. And then punch down. Squeeze that shoulder blade, shrug up towards your ears, roll forward, and punch down. Keep going, you got this. Really, really feel that intentionality. Feel those muscles waking up between your shoulder blade. Nice. Now we're going to be doing shoulder cars. So just bringing your arm up into full flexion as much as you can, making sure that you're not dipping, twisting, shrugging up at your other shoulder, tilting your head, trying to move away from that motion. Just coming up full flexion as far as you can. Rotate, squeeze out as much rotation, rotate and reach back into extension. And making sure that your palm is facing away from your body when you come down from that extension. So reaching up into full flexion as far as you can. Rotating and reach, rotate, reach. Notice how my palm is facing up and away until it's facing outwards when it comes down towards my thigh. Nice, and then repeat this on the other side. Reaching up, full flexion as much as you can. Try not to bend at the elbow here. Rotate, reach, making sure you're not dipping forward in your chest. You're not leaning away, really trying to isolate that motion at the shoulder joint. Nice. Remember, don't forget irradiation. This is a warm-up, I understand. Make sure you get about 10%, anywhere from 10 to 20%, depending on how you're feeling for that day. That's a good warm-up resistance. Here we're working on our elbows, so literally just as shown in the video, where we're rotating as much as we can in one direction, palms open and extending. And then bringing up with the palms same way, then rotate at the top and coming back in pronation. And so here you want to imagine there's some goo, like you're stuck in some goo, or there's some resistance, or even there's like a plate or a dumbbell in the palms of your hands. So there has to be some sort of resistance in every direction that you're going. It's not a great resistance because it's a warm-up, so it's about 10 to 20% of energy, okay? Keep going. Nice motion. Wrist is neutral. Amazing. Now wrist cars. You're just following along, drawing a nice circle with your palm, keeping those fingers as straight as you possibly can give them. And then ensuring that on your forearm, you're not tipping and rotating your forearm. You're not twisting and turning your forearm. So you have that secondary arm placed, palm placed on your forearm to be able to keep you accountable so that your forearm is not rolling around everywhere. Okay, so just performing these wrist circles. And you can go in one direction and then reverse it by going the other way. So noticing from this angle, just how little movement we want to place on that forearm. So it's not rotating with each movement that we're doing in the palm. Awesome, guys. Now we're over to our hip cars. So bring our knee to our chest, abducting, then internally rotating, donkey kick towards the ceiling, and then bring that leg to meet the other one. Reverse that motion, donkey kick back up, externally rotate, maintain that height as much as you can, elbows remain locked, and bring that leg back down. Again, knee to chest as much as you can. Abduct, open up, bring that leg up, fire hydrant. Internally rotate, squeeze as much internal rotation as you can. Then donkey kick towards the ceiling, then bring that thigh back down. Reverse that motion, donkey kick back up. Make sure that you're also not hyperextending in your lower back. keeping everything solid everywhere else, right? Nice tabletop position, nice locked elbows, great stable position. And then repeat that on the other side. Okay, now we're working on our knee car. So you want to rotate by kicking that foot out towards the pinky side. Then rotate it in towards the big toe and bring the knee down. Keeping the foot where it is, extend back up. Rotate the foot out towards the pinky side and bring the knee back down. Keeping the foot position the same, bring that knee back up. Rotate that foot towards the big toe and bring that foot back down. Keeping it where it is, extend back up again, rotate out towards the pinky toe and bring that knee down. And now we're going to work on our ankle cars. So nice circles just as we did with the wrist. So you're drawing big circles as much as you can at the very outer range with your ankle, right? And you're imagining that your toes are essentially the pencil. So really think about moving at the outer reaches of your joint. So you see how I placed my palm? There's a bony prominence that you'll feel just underneath your knee. So that's what you're just holding on, just for feedback to make sure that your shin is not rotating. So just the same concept as we had with the forearm, making sure that the forearm is not rotating around. It's the same principle here. So here we're just switching over to the other side and working those knee cars. Kicking out towards the pinky side, extending that foot up, rotating in towards the big toe, bringing that knee down. Nice. Now again, back to the ankle cars. So now you're going to rotate, drawing as much of a big circle as you can. Imagining even that you have some sort of weight on it. How much intensity can you place on your warm-up today? Could you make it a little bit more intense? Could you make it a little less intense for you today? Where are you exactly on your journey? So today we're going to work on those toes. A lot of people don't even have this much control or like mind muscle control to their toes or their feet in general. You know, there's a lot of flat-footed people out there that could use just even this type of intentionality towards their feet. So just following along. You know, it doesn't have to be in any type of order, but just trying to be able to find that independence between your toes. So lifting that big toe up as much as you can, right? Lifting all of them together, lifting just the four on their own, maybe trying to drop one at a time, starting from the pinky side. You know what I mean? So dip, 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 down, up, dip, 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 dip. Try that. That's a great way of really waking up your feet and just all the muscles around your body. And we did it! 8, 8, 8.